For almost 2 decades, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were the definition of a Hollywood success story. Two global stars, different worlds, yet perfectly in sync. She was elegance and artistry. He was charm and southern soul. Together, they were the dream, a marriage that looked untouchable. But in 2025, that dream collapsed. 19 years after saying I do, Nicole Kidman quietly filed for divorce, ending one of entertainment's most admired unions. And while the court papers looked calm, the story behind them was anything but. What followed was a whirlwind of emotion, media manipulation, and a shocking new name that would change everything. Kelsea Ballerini. September 2025, Nicole Kidman officially files for divorce. To the outside world, it looked routine, almost sterile. No screaming matches, no leaked phone calls, just a tidy, perfectly timed split. Court records showed no fight over houses, cars, or money. Lawyers on both sides managed everything with precision. A separation so smooth that even seasoned entertainment reporters called it eerily controlled. Nicole received the majority of custodial time with their daughters, about 306 days a year. Keith would have the rest, mainly around his touring schedule. But here's the thing. Couples who end quietly in public usually fought loudly in private, and that's exactly what insiders started whispering. Friends of the couple say the distance had been growing for years. Keith's endless touring schedule kept him on the road. Nicole's shooting calendar from Australia to Europe pulled her in the opposite direction. At first, they balanced it beautifully. But around 2023, something changed. Nicole began taking riskier, edgier film roles, challenging herself artistically. Keith, meanwhile, leaned deeper into the country rock scene, chasing chart relevance. Different creative energies, different emotional needs, add fame, pressure, and two kids and cracks began to show. By early 2025, they were living mostly separate lives, friendly on camera, distant off it, which made the eventual divorce filing less a surprise and more a confirmation. Once the filing hit the press, both camps mobilized immediately. Team Kidman painted her as the blindsided, devoted wife, loyal to the end, hurt but dignified. She had stood by him through addiction recovery, career slumps, and public scrutiny. Now, she was left unsupported during her own creative comeback. Team Urban fired back subtly. They claimed Keith felt alienated by Nicole's daring new movie, Baby Girl, a film filled with bold scenes and emotional darkness. Rumor had it, he wasn't comfortable with how public those choices were. To some, it sounded like jealousy. To others, insecurity. Either way, two versions of the truth began circulating, and the media ate it up. Then came the whisper that changed everything. Infidelity. No one had proof. No one had names. But one unverified post can start an avalanche. Suddenly, anonymous sources were claiming Nicole discovered messages, that she'd been devastated. Within days, the narrative was cemented. Nicole Kidman, the betrayed wife, Keith Urban, the fallen husband. Social media exploded with sympathy for Nicole. Fan pages turned into support groups. Meanwhile, Keith's once polished reputation started to crumble under the weight of speculation. And then Keith himself began showing cracks in public. It started small, subtle lyric changes during live shows. But fans noticed. During The Fighter, a song originally written as a love letter to Nicole, Keith altered lines on stage, inserting references that fans believed pointed to someone else entirely. At another concert, he broke mid-song, shouting an unscripted remark filled with frustration. By November 2025, clips of his onstage meltdowns were everywhere. One headline read, Keith Urban's anger erupts pain or PR disaster. The man once known for humility and control seemed unhinged, and it was costing him. Behind the scenes, his team scrambled. They pulled The Fighter from the set list entirely. Interviews were canceled. Radio silence. The new message was simple. Keith wasn't angry. He was hurting. A man processing heartbreak through music. They reframed him from bitter ex to wounded artist. It worked. For a moment, but the public still wasn't sure what to believe. He needed something new, something relatable. And then, almost by fate, Kelsea Ballerini entered the picture. At the very moment Keith's image was spiraling, Kelsea Ballerini's relationship with actor Chase Stokes ended. Two heartbreaks, two stars in the same genre. And suddenly, they were seen together. Rehearsals, award shows, studio sessions, all professional, yet warm. Fans couldn't help but notice the chemistry. Tabloids immediately jumped in as Kelsea Ballerini, the reason behind Keith and Nicole's split. Country's new power pair. But the truth is, their connection went back years. In 2018, when Kelsea was still an emerging artist, she opened for Keith Urban on his Graffiti U tour. He took her under his wing, offering advice and mentorship. He even once called her the future of country music. That history made their 2025 closeness feel natural, not forced. It gave authenticity to every joint appearance. Fans who knew the backstory saw two artists reconnecting during a vulnerable time. For Keith's PR team, it was the perfect narrative gift, a wholesome, creative friendship that humanized him again. Keith's management leaned hard into the older brother narrative. Press releases described their relationship as mentorship. No romance, No scandal. Just two musicians supporting each other after heartbreak. And people believed it. Headlines shifted from betrayal and anger to resilience and healing. Suddenly, Keith Urban was back, not as Nicole Kidman's ex, but as a compassionate mentor helping the next generation. It was strategic brilliance. Whether orchestrated or coincidental, it completely changed the conversation. While all this played out, Nicole stayed silent. No interviews, no emotional posts, just focus. Her film Baby Girl, released that fall, controversial, bold, and critically praised. She appeared at premieres looking confident, graceful, and untouchable. Insiders said she had moved on long before the papers were filed. Others hinted she'd planned her comeback meticulously, allowing the PR storm to swirl around Keith while she rose above it. Whatever the case, Nicole Kidman came out looking like the calm in the chaos. Composed, respected, completely in control. By early 2026, the narrative balance had shifted entirely. Nicole Kidman, independent powerhouse. Keith Urban, resilient artist rebuilding. Kelsea Ballerini, the new star connected to both through music and mutual respect. All three had something to gain. Nicole, renewed respect. Keith, restored sympathy. Kelsea, elevated visibility. In the entertainment industry, that's what you call a win-win-win. But was it all coincidence or carefully guided storytelling? Consider the timing. Nicole's divorce filing, Keith's public breakdowns, Kelsea's breakup, all within months of each other. Each event created emotional headlines. Each gave the next story momentum. To the public, it looked organic. To PR insiders, it looked perfectly sequenced. Because in Hollywood, timing is the narrative. Beyond all the headlines, there are two people who once truly loved each other. Nicole and Keith shared almost 20 years, 2 daughters, and countless memories. Whatever went wrong, it's impossible to erase that kind of history. Sources close to them say they still communicate politely. About their children, nothing more. There's no hatred, just distance. Two artists who grew apart while trying to grow individually, and that's often how great loves end, quietly. After years of trying. As for Kelsea Ballerini, she handled the media storm gracefully. She never confirmed or denied anything about Keith. Instead, she focused on music, releasing songs about healing and self-reflection. Fans noticed subtle lyrics referencing mentorship and recovery, but she never named names. That silence added mystery and, ironically, credibility. Her career flourished, streaming numbers soared, and she found herself in the middle of one of Hollywood's biggest redemption arcs without ever saying a word. This entire saga became a case study in modern celebrity management. Nicole mastered controlled silence. Keith demonstrated emotional vulnerability. Kelsea embodied fresh authenticity. 3 very different strategies, all playing out simultaneously, feeding off one another in the media ecosystem. That's why fans stayed hooked for months. It wasn't just gossip. It was storytelling, real emotions, amplified by smart timing and media framing. Today, Keith and Nicole maintain separate, peaceful lives. He continues touring, writing songs that hint at heartbreak and renewal. She's back in award season conversations, thriving in independent cinema. And Kelsea, she's solidifying herself as country pop's next powerhouse. There's no feud, no scandal left to fight. Just 3 people moving forward, and a story that reminded the world how fragile even the brightest love can be. 19 years, 2 children, hundreds of red carpet moments. A love story that began with hope and ended with headlines. Nicole Kidman once said in an interview, "When you love someone deeply, it changes you permanently." Maybe that's still true. Because even after everything, the silence, the rumors, the PR wars, there's still a sense of shared respect between them. The fairy tale ended, yes, but the legacy of that love, that remains. So what do you think? Was the friendship between Keith Urban and Kelsea Ballerini genuine healing, or a calculated lifeline crafted by powerful teams? Was Nicole's silence strategy or strength? Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. In Hollywood, love stories don't always fade quietly. Sometimes they end in whispers, press releases, and perfectly timed songs. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the untold story of Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, and Kelsea Ballerini. If you enjoy uncovering the real stories behind celebrity headlines, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because in the world of fame and heartbreak, there's always another story waiting to be told.